Hey Australia, I'm Miko Santos coming to you live with breaking news that's shaking up our economy. Trump tariff bombshell has dropped, and it's got everyone from farmers to politicians scrambling. Let's dive into what this means for you and your wallet. So here's the deal. President Trump has just slapped a 10% tax on pretty much everything going into America, including our OC exports. It's part of what he's calling Liberation Day. Thought our farmers exporters might have a different name for it.
Americans, this is Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time. April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again.
Trump didn't hold back when talking about our beef export. Check out what he said.
You have Australia bans, and they're wonderful people and wonderful everything, but they ban American beef, yet we imported $3 billion of Australian beef from them just last year alone. They won't take any of our beef. They don't want it because they don't want it to affect their farmers. And you know what? I don't blame them, but we're doing the same thing right now, starting about midnight tonight, I would say.
Okay, so let's be real here. We actually don't ban American beef. We have a biosecurity standards that their meat needs to meet. Big difference, but while our 10% tariff sting, other countries got absolutely hammered. China's facing 34% of top of existing tariff, and countries like Vietnam and Malaysia nearly 50%. Talk about global trade smackdown. Prime Minister Albanese wasn't having any of it today. He gathered his team and basically said, thanks, but no thanks to the idea of hitting back with our own
The
tariff.
unilateral action that the Trump administration has taken today against every nation in the world does not come as a surprise. For Australia, these tariffs are not unexpected, but let me be clear, they are totally unwarranted. President Trump referred to reciprocal tariffs. A reciprocal tariff would be zero, not 10%. The administration's tariffs have no basis in logic, and they go against the basis of our two nations partnership. This is not the act of a friend.
Instead of playing tit for tat, Albo's rolling out what he's calling a 5-point plan to weather these trade storms. Number one, beefing up protection against dumping, the trade kinda, not the garbage kind. Number two, 50 million to help affected industry find new markets. Number three, 1 billion in zero interest loan for business looking to pivot. Number four, more buy Australian in government spending, shop local or government styles. Number five, a strategic stockpile of critical minerals, our underground treasure chests. So basically, instead of a trade war, we're going for a trade workaround. Smart move or missed opportunity. Let me know what you think in the comments if you're watching online. As you might expect, the stock market had beat a meltdown today. Thought it could be worse. The ASX dropped nearly 1%, but that's actually a recovery from this morning bigger dive. But here's the silver lining. For mortgage holders, with all this economic drama, there's now a 90% chance that the Reserve Bank will cut interest rate in May. Finally, some good news for your home loan. Of course, this has been become an instant political football. Opposition leaders Peter Dutton jumped right in, basically saying, I could handle Trump better than
The
Albo.
announcement, obviously, out of the United States in relation to tariffs. I do think this is a bad day for our country, and it's not the treatment that Australians deserve because we have a very trusted, long-standing and abiding relationship with the United States. It spans 100 years, and we have fought alongside and with the Americans in every major battle over that period of time. We have a special relationship with the United States, and it hasn't been treated with respect by the administration or by the President. And the question now is, what do we do to resolve this matter and to do it quickly?
Dutton claims he leveraged our defense relationship and critical minerals to get a better deal. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Penny Wong is calling for everyone to put aside the politics. Here's something worth remembering. The US actually only accounts for less than 5% of our exports. Trade Minister Don Farrell already got backup plans in motion. I also chatted with Professor Robert Brooks from Monash Business School about where our export might head next.
Yes, so it is clear that the tariffs are clearly going to reduce trade with the US. That I think is a given. The question around do we get into retaliation will ask about how global that becomes. Australia's role is to advocate for a freer trading system and to get more market access and to get more barriers removed. And I think the opportunity that sits in all of this is where the other impacted countries are saying, look, okay, we have to do something about the US. Now, okay, perhaps we might want to do some tit for tat style retaliation. But also, what are we doing about market access? So Australia has to play the role that it's played, for a very long time under governments of different political persuasion. One of the great Australian success stories has been in that more liberal trading environment. And I think we have to keep doing that and keep pushing on the market access points and not get dragged into the risk of being in a retaliatory measures type point. Remember, it's US consumers that are going to wear the cost of this. Some of our producers, clearly in impacted sectors, have a cost while we work through what those alternatives might look like. But to the extent that we don't similarly impact Australian consumers, we're in a better place to be able to respond to that.
The good news, we'd already made progress with trade deals in the UK, India, and the Middle East. Farrell even called our new agreement with the UAE the Woolies warehouse of the Middle East. Get your product in there and they can reach market across the region. Pretty clever, right? So where do we go from here? Rather than starting a trade war, Australia is planning to work through the dispute resolution system in our existing free trade agreement with the US. The big question is whether other countries will start slapping tariff on each other, creating a global trade war that nobody wins. Economic experts are already warning about potential recession risks if this escalates. Not exactly what we need right now. That's a wrap up our coverage of what I'm calling Tariff Get On for tonight. Want to stay on the loop of the developments? Head over to redmancari.com. And hey, if you value the kind of no nonsense, straight talking news coverage we provide, consider supporting our work by subscribing, either free or paid subscriber. We're on all your favorite podcasting platform, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. The whole gang. Your subscription help fund the kind of in-depth reporting Australia needs right now. I'm Nico Santos. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow night with all the latest. Stay savvy, Australia.